Tony and Corey here, your weekend warriors.
Today we're installing TREX's signature aluminum rod rail.
All right, Tony, so we're gonna install some railing. We've been working on this bonus room up here. We've got all the carpet down, looks fantastic, but we tore out the old railing and we need to replace it. I've been looking around and TREX makes a handrail system made out of aluminum that's intended for use outside on decks. But I tell you what, it looks phenomenal. It's got horizontal rods that make it look almost kind of like cable railing.
Yeah, it really does, and goes together super easy though. No comparison in installation time or difficulty to cable rail.
Absolutely. So what we're gonna do is we went ahead and got 3 posts. We've got 10 feet here that we need to cover. So I'm gonna put one on the end, one in the middle, and one on this end.
And a couple of 5-foot sections in between.
That's right, we had to buy 6-foot sections. The rod rail comes in 6-foot and 8-foot sections.
Right.
So 6-foot, 2 6-foot sections will cover us.
Talk for a second about this super cool tool that they give you with the rail.
Yeah, so this tool, it's made out of like PVC, extruded PVC, and it's a template. So what you do is you take that and you put this over the post and it pushes on super tight, it snaps over. Put your post on or your bracket on there, you drill your holes and you screw it on. Just makes it super easy.
Absolutely, and at no extra cost, right? They anticipate the ease that it offers you and they include it for free.
Yeah, this doesn't actually come in the box though. So one thing to keep in mind, if you want one, you'll have to ask your dealer for one.
Oh, absolutely. So the first thing we're gonna do is make marks at the top and bottom of the post in order to install the handrail brackets.
Yeah, and then what we're gonna have to do is measure out and install our posts, and then we'll measure and cut the rod rail system.
Let's find out what's in this box.
All right, here we go. First box, TREX signature.
This says step 1 and 2, so we know we're already doing it right.
All right, so we've got our cap, our post skirt, and our aluminum posts. So what we're gonna do is I want to install this first post down here like this, but I want to make sure that I'm inside. Oh look, it comes with a few shims.
Yeah, little metal shims to make sure that thing is plumb.
Yeah, that's gonna be our biggest goal with these posts, is to make sure they're all plumb. But I do want to make sure, pull this apart. I'm gonna slide that over and make sure that it fits fine. And yeah, it looks like right about there is perfect. All right, Tony, I got the post right where I want it, but I want to make sure that it's square. Will you hand me that square? It looks just about perfect right there. All right, so now I'm gonna mark the holes. This all. All right, so these 4 holes are where I'm gonna pre-drill for my fasteners. So I'm using these Fasten Master headlock screws, which are as strong as a 3/8 lag. All right, so I got those somewhat tight, Tony. Let's make sure this thing is plumb. So I'm a little bit out, so I'm gonna need a shim on this side, and they give you a couple shims to do that with. All right, so we got the first post installed. Let's get the other 2 installed, so that way we can get our measurements and get our rail sections cut. But I'm almost thinking that we do one post at 6 foot and the last little 4-foot section. That way we only have to cut one rail section.
I think we want both rail sections to be the same width so that it's even and symmetrical. Have you had enough coffee this morning?
Probably not.
Let's instead take the total distance between post 1 and post 3, split that in half, and have 2 identical sections.
So we'll have to
top
cut.
and bottom rails will be the same length.
We'll have to cut both rail sections in.
Absolutely. That's
All right.
what we need to do.
A little more work, but I think you're probably right.
Agreed.
All right, so let's get the posts out. Let's get our measurements and get everything cut. Think about right there, right at the end.
Yeah. 45 in from the corner. Oh, good.
Good. That is perfect.
It's absolutely perfect.
All right, Tony, we got the end posts bolted down. Let's measure. We'll center that post and bolt it down so we can pull our measurements for the rail sections.
I think we should not fasten this down.
What do you mean?
I think that if we take the measurements from that post to that post, split the difference, then we'll know what our top and bottom rail dimensions need to be, cut those first, and then in case we screw that up, we can move this post still and then adjust on the next cut. I don't want to have to buy another section of rail. So if we let this float until we dry fit it, then we'll know everything's working properly before we fasten this down.
It's not a terrible idea. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
113 3/8 divided by 2. Got 54
and 3/16.
54 and 3/16. All right, we got our measurement. Let's head downstairs. Look, so we got the rod rail kits right in front of us here. We've got 2 6-foot sections. We just get them opened up. Let's see what's inside.
Yeah, let's get this open.
All right, Tony, so we got everything unboxed. We're ready to go. These are the brackets for the posts, so we should set those aside. All of the components we have here look pretty straightforward. We've got this center rail post, and you can see the holes all the way through that. We've got these cool straws. Those are going to be inserted later. We'll show how that goes. And we've got our top rail and our bottom rail. And it's important to note that the top rail is quite a bit longer than the bottom rail.
As it comes out of the box.
As it comes out of the box. And then of course all of our rods. Right. And these are solid aluminum. Okay, so we have our measurement. It's 54 and 3/16. So what we need to do is subtract a 1/2 inch, and we need to cut our top rail, our bottom rail, and our top rail cap all the same length. And you can tell the top cap because it's slightly rounded. The bottom cap is completely flat.
Right.
So we need to subtract a 1/2 inch from that. 53
and 11/16.
That's right. Okay, so we've got our bottom, our top, and our top cap. Let's measure those and get those all cut.
Okay, I'm concerned about the blade that we've got on here. This is a general purpose 44 tooth blade. It's my opinion that when you're cutting something like this, something hard and finish, the more teeth, the better. I'm not sure I would choose a 44 tooth blade for cutting aluminum.
Well, I'm being told by the industry reps that this is the exact blade that we want to use.
Super.
So I feel confident with it.
Good.
Let's give it a shot. All right, so the bottom gets cut 1.5 inches shorter than the width of those.
And that has to do with the contact that it makes with the bottom shelf bracket, right?
Correct.
Okay. 52 and 11/16 minus 8/16. 52 and 3/16.
52 and 3/16. All right, so now we're going to pre-drill the holes. We're going to use this template that's provided by TREX. It fits on the rail system one way. On the top rail, it fits on this way.
Flush it up to the end of the rail.
And the bottom rail, you got to flip it over and it fits on the other way. So yeah, we're going to flush it up to the end. And it says right there, align edge to this mark right there. And then we're going to use these fixed HZ bracket holes right there. So we're going to hold it tight there. We're going to drill our first hole with an 11/64 drill bit.
It's 26.8375, or 26 and 27/32. Let's just round it up to 7/8 of an inch.
Good idea.
Now you confirm that measurement's right by measuring from the other side as well. 26 and 7/8. Money.
And we'll widen them up to 1/4 inch. All right, now we're ready to cut all of these rods. And what we need to do is measure the distance between the outermost holes and add 3/8 of an inch to that measurement.
Okay.
All right, we're at 46 1/4. So we're gonna add 3/8 to that, so that would be
46 5/8.
46 5/8. Okay, so let's cut each one of these rods to 46 5/8.
It's time to put in the straws. I like these things. These basically, Corey, are going to help reduce rattle and that sort of thing when you get the bars inside here.
Okay, we're getting ready to install these things, but it's important to note that you don't want to use an impact driver at all, because what will happen is these stainless steel screws, when they go into this aluminum, they will snap off. So you want to use a regular drill with a clutch and adjust the clutch to about half. So these little washers that come with these are going to go on the inside of the rail system down here like this. Set the center.
Yep.
It's going to go like that. And you want to align the holes in the bottom of this up with the holes in the bottom of that and drive your screws in. Make sure that when you're screwing in the ends that you put the holes for the rods towards the inside of the rail. You don't want to put them on backwards.
All right.
Now we'll pop this side on. The next step is to install the bottom cover, which we've cut 1.5 inches short. So what we want to do is measure in
3/4 of an inch from each side.
3/4 of an inch from each side.
Perfect.
Okay, let's get this snapped on. All right, we are ready to install this thing. So let's grab our post brackets and run upstairs and get this thing installed.
All right.
We've got these posts all installed, and we left this one loose just in case we made some mistakes. We've measured it, everything went together perfect. It was super simple. So now we're ready to bolt this post down.
Yeah, let's do it.
That direction's perfect. Now what we're gonna do is use the TREX signature template. Put that on here, this post, and it goes all the way down to the surface, and it pops on just like that. And we're going to install the top and the bottom brackets. The bottom bracket looks like that, and the top bracket looks like that. And this just goes in here like this. And then what we're gonna do is hold that just like that and pre-drill the holes. So when we screw these in, we want to adjust that clutch down again. I'm gonna put this on slow drive so we don't overdrive these screws. Okay, let's do the other side.
I'm in over here. Here we go.
Should be it.
That's it. So we're actually going to put a screw right through the top of this bottom cap, which seems haphazard because it's going to look ugly. But the fact is, the cap that goes on the end of this is going to cover the top of that screw up. You'll never see it. Pretty smart.
Yeah, and we're going to use these self-tapping screws that were included with the kit. Okay, we're ready to put the top cap on now. We're gonna put this on here, and there's a little bit of a gap between each end that will be covered by another cap that goes over that.
We've been warned. You don't want to have to take this top cap back off because it'll probably get damaged in the process.
Yeah, once it goes on,
it stays on.
it stays on. Pretty good. Snap on?
It sure did. Guess we didn't need a rubber mallet after all. Nice.
Just like that, and then the bottoms.
Yep, that's gonna take a little more persuading. Done.
All right, the last thing this section needs is the post cap and the post base. And this piece snaps on the other side.
Just like that. Done.
Well, there we have it. We finished up this TREX rod rail system and it looks stunning. I am so happy with the way it turned out.
And it went a lot easier than I thought it was going to. I didn't anticipate this product looking really good on the inside of the house because it was meant for outside, but man, I was wrong. It looks absolutely great. If you enjoyed what you saw here, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to find this material for yourself, you can get it at Parr Lumber Company. And if you have more questions about it, you can find them at TREX.com. This has been another episode of Your Weekend Warriors. We'll see you next time.